Hey everyone, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're taking a look at something that pretty much affects all of us who love a good summer cookout, yet we almost never think about it until it turns into a massive, super expensive headache. We're diving into the hidden summer barbecue grease disposal mistakes that are secretly wreaking havoc on our kitchen and outdoor plumbing lines.
To kick things off, I want you to really picture your typical post-BBQ cleanup routine. You know the drill. You've got the grill scraped down, you're washing off those massive serving trays, and the plates are just piled high in the sink. When you go to wash those greasy marinade bowls, the spatulas, the cutting boards, where do you actually assume all that liquid grease goes once it disappears down the drain? We all kind of have this comforting, out-of-sight, out-of-mind mentality, especially when we're just rushing to get back to the party.
Well, here's the harsh reality. It cools, it sticks, and it clogs. That grease doesn't just magically vanish into the municipal water system. It completely changes its physical state. As it travels down your pipes, it hits those cooler temperatures, solidifies, clings like crazy to the inner pipe walls, and just gradually narrows those plumbing passages over time.
Which brings us to Section 1, the hidden barbecue threat, and exactly why summer is so hard on our pipes.
Let's break down the unique vulnerabilities of our outdoor kitchens and summer grilling setups. First off, we're dealing with open flames, which just inherently create a much heavier, thicker type of grease than stovetop cooking. Second, summer means frequent, high-volume cooking events, like hosting a dozen people for a long holiday weekend. And that usually leads right into the third point, fast, rushed cleanups where we just want the chore over with. But crucially, think about this. Many of these outdoor lines, or even secondary kitchen lines, experience really long shutdown periods, particularly over the winter or between big parties. When you've got long periods of total inactivity, whatever grease is already sitting in those pipes just sits there, hardens up, and waits to trigger a massive blockage.
Moving right along to Section 2, well-intentioned mistakes. Basically, the stuff we're all doing wrong without realizing it.
Okay, let's bust a huge misconception right now. A super common mistake is pouring grease down the drain while it's still piping hot. People think, hey, it's liquid, it's flowing fast, it's definitely going to wash right out. But the reality is quite different. That hot grease eventually hits a section of your plumbing that is much cooler. Sure, it might make it past the trap directly under your sink, but it just solidifies deeper down in the plumbing system. Because you can't see it happen, you think you've gotten away with it. But actually, you're forming this slick, sticky buildup deep inside your main lines.
And that brings us to the second most common trap. Rinsing with extra dish soap. I mean, we've all seen the commercials where a single drop of soap magically cuts right through the grease, right? But the reality is that heavy detergents only temporarily emulsify the grease. It looks wonderfully clean as it swirls down the drain in that exact moment. But further down the line, that soap and grease mixture separates, and the grease simply reaccumulates in the cooler sections of your piping.
So, what happens next? When that soap and grease mixture separates, the resulting residue doesn't just sit there quietly. It immediately starts reducing your drainage speed, causing those super annoying, slow-draining sinks. And even worse, as that residue clings to the pipes, it produces some terrible odors that can waft right back up into your outdoor kitchen or backyard entertaining space. Gross, right?
Now, that leads us to a fascinating yet completely destructive concept that plumbers actually refer to as glue. When we skip scraping our plates and let food waste travel down the drain with the grease, we are creating a disastrous combination. BBQ grease mixed with sticky marinades, charred bits of meat, and random food scraps becomes literal glue. These trapped solids bind with the grease layer, accelerating the formation of impenetrable blockages way faster than grease ever could on its own.
Let's get into Section 3, vulnerable systems and bad fixes.
Now, outdoor drains are incredibly vulnerable to everything we've just been talking about. Outdoor kitchens sometimes route waste to separate wash basins or nearby ground drains. And because they're outside, the slow-moving fluids cool way faster than they would inside a climate-controlled house. This rapid cooling traps residue almost immediately. Plus, these outdoor clogs leave residue that acts as an absolute magnet for insects, which is literally the last thing you want swarming around your summer barbecue.
So let's walk through the dangerous domino effect of what happens when we panic. The classic bad fix. A homeowner notices the slow drainage we just talked about. In a rush, they pour down aggressive, caustic chemicals, or they try strong flushes of water to force the issue. But remember that sticky glue we just defined? Instead of dissolving it, this aggressive action simply pushes the solid grease buildup deeper into the plumbing infrastructure. The clog becomes significantly harder to reach and clear. So what started as a minor slow spot now results in recurring, full-blown emergency clogs that are absolutely going to require a professional to snake or jet the line.
Okay, let's talk solutions. Section 4, the right way to clean up, and our proper practices. Let's walk through 4 simple, highly actionable steps that completely neutralize this threat before it even starts. Step 1, scrape everything. Plates, trays, utensils. Scrape all those marinades and char bits directly into the trash so they never act as glue in your pipes. Step 2, let the grilling grease cool entirely. Don't rush it, let it sit. Step 3, collect that cooled, solid grease in a dedicated container. Many people find that having a simple, dedicated container makes this a really consistent habit, rather than an annoying chore, completely reducing the temptation to just dump it in the sink. And Step 4, dispose of it properly through your local waste services, bypassing your household plumbing entirely.
And the absolutely crucial point for long-term care is this: address slow spots early. Regular maintenance is everything. Keep your outdoor sinks and lines draining freely by being proactive. If your basin starts draining just a little bit slower than usual, you guys, that is your warning sign. Do not wait for a full blockage to ruin a holiday weekend.
I really want to highlight this fantastic quote straight from our source material today. The best time to prevent a clog is right after the last bite, before grease has a chance to cool, stick, and build up. I mean, that perfectly captures the proactive mindset we all need to have. By the time you're dealing with a backed-up sink, the actual damage was done weeks ago during a previous cookout. Timing your cleanup strategy is literally everything.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. I want you to really evaluate your own habits. Is your current post-BBQ cleanup routine secretly setting a trap deep inside your own pipes? Armed with the structured steps we've covered today, you can make sure your summer grilling stays focused entirely on the great food and the great company, and not on a wildly expensive emergency visit from the plumber. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and hey, happy grilling.